It's better to give than to receive. And I'm going to go right in and quote something out of the book of Tobit, and actually a verse from Proverbs that go along with this. So if you don't know what the book of Tobit is, I don't think it's in every Bible. Let's see if it's in the one I have. I want to see if it's in like the New International Version. Don't think it's not, because I'm pretty sure it's not in every Bible. But yeah, it's not in every Bible. It's not in the New International one, at least the one I have. But because I have a smaller New International version of the Bible, and then I also have my study one is a Revised Standard Version. But if you don't, but I think the book of Hobbit is a good book to look into because it has some good words in there that have helped me, and it just kind of highlights a few things. As a new, yeah, it's not in this New Living Version either, at least the one I have. But it's a good one to look into because it also, if you know the story where the Pharisees bring up about like the 7 husbands or something, that's where the story originates from, I believe. And it's also where Raphael, that one of the whole 7 holy angels, comes down disguised as a human. And he also talks about like fasting, prayer, and giving an alms. But I'm going to read from chapter 12, starting at verse 9, and this is what Raphael says. It is better to give alms than to treasure up gold, for almsgiving delivers from death, and it will purge away every sin. Those who perform deeds of charity and of righteousness will have fullness of life. So it's like giving an alms, it like not only does it, like as Jesus says in Mathew, in the Gospel of Mathew, like about having store up for yourself treasures on earth. Mathew chapter 6, verse 19. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust consumes and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And Jesus also says in the parable of the rich man when he comes, I'm not going to find that. He says, like, if you store up for yourself, if you give an alms, you will have treasure. Like, Jesus, like, this is Matthew chapter 19, and I'm starting at verse 21. Jesus said to him, and this is the rich man who was asking, I obey all your commands. What do I still need to have eternal life? If you would be perfect, go sell what you possess and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and come follow me. Like, that's what it means. Like, that's how you store treasure in heaven. But do it generously and honestly, and not just to be seen or to boast about yourself, but because you honestly want to, and you will have treasure in heaven. So, like, yeah, purge. It also purges every sin, and it kind of, it's like, well, like it said, those who perform deeds of charity and righteousness will have fullness of life. But then on verse 10, it says, those who commit sin are the enemies of their own lives. And this kind of goes into, like, if you've ever heard, like, hell is an example of God, like, hell is God's gesture of his respect for human choice. Like, because you have the free will, because he's given us free will to decide whether we want to follow him or not. And just like hell's a choice. so a sin. It's because once you're saved, you can never blame Satan. Like if you're unsaved, you can definitely blame the devil because Satan can use you. If you're unsaved, he can use you at will because he has the ability to do that. But if you are a born again Christian, you've given your life to Christ. Any sin you commit, you cannot blame the devil because you now have the Spirit of God in you. You've truly repented and following Jesus, starting to follow Jesus now. The devil, he can tempt you to sin, but he can't make you. That's the key difference. And so we have to be very careful, and that's why sin is almost like a choice. And it's not necessarily that it's your fault that you sin. Like, you just can't. I know it's hard to not blame Satan, but and another thing is going back to like, we have to deny our fleshly habits, and because we're habitual creatures. Like, it's easy to be, we have habits of doing things. I heard of someone, his name is, I've heard of Valdi Sacco say that like we're habitual creatures, and I think that's very true. And again, I'll leave his channel in the description below if you want to check out who that is, which I highly recommend you do. But yeah, sin is also like a choice. It's like we don't have to. And Raphael warns of like, but those who commit sin are the enemies of their lives. But now there's also a parable in Proverbs about giving an alms. One man gives freely, and this is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 24. One man gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give and only suffers want. And it actually makes sense because if you're giving freely to the needy and to the poor, and those, not even just the needy and poor, but those around you, especially because you like doing it, you want to be, and you're generous, not because you feel like you have to, and definitely not to boast about yourself. Don't like make a big deal out of it. Don't, like Jesus says in Mathew, like, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Keep it in secret, and your Father will reward you. Or at least try to. If people see, it's fine, but just don't make a big deal about it. But like, one man gives freely, yet grows all the richer. It's like you almost feel free when you give. It feels good. I know. It feels like joy giving, especially when the transaction goes well. Like especially with needy and the poor, some are willing to receive it. Others just kind of, I don't know, are mad about you or something for whatever reason. A lot of times because they have some kind of demonic oppression over them, but at least that's what I found in the past. Like I have one encounter with a homeless man where it's like there's a demonic oppression over him, and I didn't show it all the times, like a few times, but anyway, I'm getting away from the point. It's like when you give freely, it's like free and it's like joy. It's like you have a treasure. You grow rich in like not wealth or money or anything material. You go richer in like, I guess, spiritually, or in like treasure in heaven, as Jesus points out. And then anyone who withholds what they should give, only suffers want. So like if you hold on to all these things like material items, it's like you begin to want more and more, and it says only suffers want, because that can lead into you're only going to keep wanting more and more, and it's never going to fully satisfy you. And this can lead to greed, obviously. Greed is never going to satisfy you because it's just going to be constant. I need this, I want that, I want that. You're never going to be satisfied because you're always going to want things. Only Christ can satisfy us or give us a purpose and fulfillment. Honestly, giving alms and giving generously, as it says in the New Testament somewhere. I forgot where St. Paul writes that, but I might try to find it. It's like you feel free and you grow richer and like yeah, treasure in heaven, but also richer in like a sense of joy and peace. You feel, and you already feel rich inside. It's like a better kind of rich than as of holding on to things, it just feels like you start to want more and more things, and just, I really like the word how it phrases it. Only suffers want. You actually just gonna keep wanting more and more. But yeah, this has been a shorter video than compared to all the recent ones, but I'm going to leave all these verses in the description and comment section below, but feel free to leave your thoughts and responses in the comment sections as well. Let me know what you think about this, if you agree, or especially let me know what you think about the book of Tobit, if it should be mentioned more, used more, because I think there's some good stuff in there if you want to read it. But anyway, God bless. Have a great day.